Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by PlayBranson.com. It's the place where you can find the latest Branson show schedules and attraction information. So be sure to check out PlayBranson.com. Now, we have a legendary performer on the show today. He's been in Branson forever, doing tons of different things, and it's been a long time since he's been back on the show. And so I'm so excited to have Terry Wayne Sanders. You're not going to want to miss it. He is an awesome entertainer. Stay tuned here on PlayBranson. You may be sitting in your hotel room tonight saying, who is playing where tonight in Branson? Well, guess what? If you go to thevacationchannel.com, you can see Branson show and attraction schedules. Just click on the schedule button in the top right corner and you'll see who's playing tonight in Branson. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show, I would say we have the legendary Terry Wayne Sanders, man. It's so good to have you back.
Good to be back. Thank you so much, Chris.
I went back and looked, and I think you were on our very first season back in 2017 or something like that.
8 years. That's 8 years.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago, but you've been busy. I've been busy, but here we are again. So yay, we're here.
Yes, and so tell people about your career, like how you got into this business and how it led you to where you are today.
Oh, wow. It started in 1964. My family, honest to goodness, I was born with nothing. I still have most of it. And we had saved up a lot of money. Back then, a lot was, like $75. So we came to Branson. It's our first time. And we could afford to go out to Silver Dollar because it was free. You paid $1.25 to go down into Marvel Cave. Things have changed a lot since then. And so we went into Silver Dollar. And Chris, as a kid, I'm 5 years of age in 1964. I walked into this place and I see those hillbillies that they're having fun. They've got this steam train. They've got a cave. They've got all this great stuff that kids love. And I knew right then, this is where I want to be. And so that night, we went to a show called Shepherd of the Hills Outdoor Drama. Well, I'm watching all this spectacle. I mean, the burning cabin, they're going to hang a guy, this romance. And then they had silly, funny characters, one of which was this guy called Ollie Stewart, a city slicker. And I said, listen to that laugh. I want to be him. I want to be that character. Then the next night, because we were able to stay 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights, we went to the Baldnobber Jamboree. Okay. Not only did they have a comedian, they had several comedians. And again, I'm mesmerized, but not by just them and their wonderful antics. I'm watching that audience. And I said, I want to be a part of this. And so I did my homework as a kid. What do? You go to school, you get your education, and that's what all the professionals told me. Get your education first, get practicum as you do that. Go out and do all these things that you do, but get the education. And so my parents were leery. I said, I'm going to go into the acting business. And in the fall of 77, I went to then SMSU, now MSU. And even before I got my degree, 5 years later, yes, I took the 5-year plan. My parents were thrilled. No, wrong. Anyway, it was wonderful. I was already working in Branson at the places that I loved. I got my first job at Silver Dollar, April of 1980. And then Shad Heller, the face of Silver Dollar, the spokesperson, if you will, also the blacksmith. He was everything. He was watching me at Silver Dollar. And one day he came down to where I was working at Silver Dollar at Rube Dugan's Diving Bell. It was a submarine ride.
Yes, I remember it.
Very few of us remember that because that was a long time ago. Yeah. And Shad just stood there and he watched me and he walked off. And I thought, oh boy, I'm in trouble. I mean, that's Shad. I mean, he's the man, he has power. And later he came up and said, son, I really like what I see with your work. I'd like to have you work for me. And so I said, oh my gosh, at the time, not only was he at Silver Dollar, multitasker, and that, again, he laid the groundwork for all of us. Work as much as you can. And so he had the Corn Crib Theater and a production of The Toby Show.
Yes.
And so I was so excited. Chris, he took me backstage. He showed me everything where I was all at. Here's the costumes. Here's this. Here's that. Then he took me up the aisle. It's an outdoor venue, outside. I walk up the aisle. We walk into the concession stand. He said, now, Terry, this is a popcorn machine. And I want you to make popcorn. Now, I was like, okay. I thought, he goes, oh, no, you're going to be in the show, but it's also show business. And the reason I want you to be back here doing all this stuff, the concessions, I want you to watch every character on that stage, and I want you to study them, because I'm going to throw you into the show, and I don't know when, but be prepared. And sure enough, I was in line for, I think, Raiders of the Lost Ark at the movie theater, the Twin Cinema back then. And all of a sudden, I see this car go by, and it's Molly Heller, Chad's wife, and her son, Bob. They honk, and I wave. And so we get into the theater. They start up the movie, and Chris, they stopped the movie and said, "Is Terry Sanders who? Terry Sanders?" And of course, they're like, "Boo!" And so I go answer the phone, and it's Molly. She said, "Wayne Milnes has had his wisdom teeth cut out. He cannot perform. So you're going to be in the play tonight. You're going to be playing the character of Zenas. Me. Yes, Zenas." And so they threw me in. We had a little bit of rehearsal, and that's how I got thrown into the Toby Show and had the best time. I was there for 3 years, and then I went on to the Wilkinson Brothers. I was with them until 1987, and then I joined up with the Brash Music Show the fall of 87.
And you were a comedian.
Oh, yes, comedian. Yeah. You know, again, by trade, this is what I wanted to do. And all this groundwork being at Silver Dollar, you know, the audience, people all day long, different people every day, you know. And so, yeah, and it is evolved from there. Then I got with the Brashers for 17 years, and the Grand Jubilee. I was the first comedian of the Grand Jubilee show, and then it just went on and on. Then I started with Shepherd of the Hills. Shepherd of the Hills around 2002. Our oldest son, Austin, had been hired to be Little Pete in the play. And, of course, Keith Thurman, the then director, said, "Well, you know, Terry, since Austin's here, you got to drop him off and pick him up. Why don't you just be in the play?" I said, "Sure." And he said, "I really think you make a great Ollie." And so right now I have the reigning title of the oldest Ollie ever in the history of the show. And this is our 65th anniversary. Same thing with Silver Dollar. They started at the same time. And so I am the oldest Ollie they've ever had at almost 66 years of age.
Yeah, but when you saw that, did you ever think that you would be in that exact position?
You know, I wanted to, deep in my heart. Yeah. And there's always self-doubt. I think we all have that in us. You go, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want to, but I don't know. But after watching it all these years and being in the business, you know, that's my job. You audition, you get parts. Sometimes you don't get parts. And that's just how it is. And so great highs, great lows. But it all worked out. For my history, you know, I studied at, like I say, SMSU back then, got my degree in speech and theater, a Bachelor of Fine Arts, but emphasis in acting, and then, of course, a minor in set design. So I knew about the business and how to do that and how to create sets. But even growing up in Mountain Grove, we had a big backyard, big creek behind us there, lots of woods, and I built my own Silver Dollar City. I had 3 buildings. It's a 3-story tree house. I built a general store and a blacksmith shop. And I would just, in my mind, go through the characters, what the street shows would be, all of that. I even painted signs because a little on the artsy side, you know. And that kind of paid off because now at Silver Dollar, along with playing 5 characters a day, I also use what they call liquid chalk. And I mark down on the streets train or restrooms or, you know.
You're the guy that does that.
I'm the guy that does that. See, people go, who? That's that guy. They don't know my real name, but that's that guy. He does this, he does that. And you do that too? I said, yes, I do that too. I used to get in trouble. I would sit at home. Chris, I would sit at home and doodle. When I was supposed to be doing homework, my mom, Barbara Jean, would throw, "Terry, do your homework, get your homework done." Oh, okay. And I still just doodle away. And all those doodles were usually about Silver Dollar City or working on some type of font.
Right.
And so it all paid off.
So you came here on vacation, and that literally changed the course of your life.
Right. Right.
You know, people don't realize that still, I think, can happen to people today.
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you have the desire, even just a slight inkling of, I would love to be a singer, I would love to be a performer, I would love to be in the business, Branson is the place. You know, we were talking about this the other day about the big boom of Branson in 1991 when 60 Minutes came here. That opened up the door for a lot of people. But we've always been this viable place. If you really want to work and you're good, or even if you're not so good, you will get good. Otherwise, you're not going to be here very long. And I've always known I've got to get better. And every day I push myself, how did I do that yesterday and why did it not work? You know, you can't live off of your laurels. You got to learn from, what was, why did this fail? Was that joke set up the bad way, or did I interact with a guest the wrong way? You learn how to read your audience. If you can tell someone's having a bad day, don't mess with them too much. You just kind of drop the character a little bit to say, "Are you doing okay? Can I get you? Would you like some water?" Let them know that, one, you're concerned, and then once you get that barrier broken, then you can see what's going on, and then you can learn, I can have some fun with this person. Where are you from? Oh my gosh, Michigan, yeah, the land of rust, And so you break that ice, and so they finally do like you. They laugh, okay, and it all works. But that's
and when you get people laughing or smiling, it's hard to be in a bad mood.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're going to stop right here because we could go on forever. We'll be right back with more with Terry Wayne Sanders.
Yes.
Have you seen our new PlayBranson magazine? Well, if you're in town and you want to know more about Branson's shows, attractions, golf, the lakes, and more, you need to get the PlayBranson magazine. It's free. It's located all over town in racks, so be sure to pick up a PlayBranson magazine. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 4 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com. Hey folks, we are here with Terry Wayne Sanders, and we've been talking an incredible history. And you're in several shows now, and let's talk about C.J. Newsom's show, classic country and comedy show. You've been there 8 years, right?
Yeah, we've finished our last full 8 years of togetherness at the Americana Theater. She's been doing her show for a full 12 years, but I joined her 8 years ago. This is our 9th season together, open up in April at the Americana Theater still. Her husband he has the lease on the building, but also he produces our show. And it's been a wonderful marriage, if you will, not just for them, but for all of us to be together. CJ kind of grew up watching me, because she's much younger than I am. And for them to ask me to be a part of their show, it's kind of funny, Chris. At one time they were performing at the IMAX Theater. Okay, they had a morning show over there. And Chris knew I'd been around and helped out other shows, kind of directing, giving some ideas. And so he called up, would you watch our show and tell me what you think? But he said, be honest. I said, I will be. So brace yourself. And so I went over and saw the show. It was a Patsy Cline tribute type of show. But I saw things that weren't making sense. It's like, okay, she's doing Patsy, and then the band says other stuff that doesn't kind of fit in with that theme. And then all of a sudden here comes Chris Newsom, her husband, and he's doing magic. And I'm scratching my head going, how does magic fit in with Patsy Cline? Did she work with magicians? No, she didn't. I did some homework. And also the magic he was doing, it was like magic comedy in his mind. And I said, okay, first of all, I'll be honest, it doesn't fit. It's not really funny. Those are old lines everybody knows. So if you want the show to be better, here's what I would change. The band needs to interact with her in a positive way that really makes it good. And I said, you need to fire yourself. And he took it all well. He goes, okay, I need to know this because, I need, because we've heard other people say, what are you doing over here? And then he said, well, with all that information, I know every show in Branson has a comedian or some type of comic relief. Would you join us? I said, not yet. And so for about 3 years, they did the show with him not in it. And then when they moved to the Americana, he called me and said, would you be interested? I said, yeah, I think now's the time. I watched the show. I said, yeah, this is it. And I knew right then it's time to get in there. So yeah.
So you have a balancing act that you're having to do because you're in this one show these days, another show another day, and then you're doing, and you say you have like 8 different shows,
8 different venues,
eight different
sure.
jobs you do.
And you do, and you make it work. But after all these years, now 46 years in the business, you learn to juggle. And I look at my calendar every day and on my phone, also on the computer, because sometimes they're not quite in sync. That'll get you in trouble. Have I ever double booked myself? Twice. Not a third. So it's interesting, Chris. I love to be busy. I also know that if you work hard, the bank will not call. When the bank calls you,
That's not
they don't
good.
want to know about that calendar they gave you months ago. Okay, it's not a happy conversation. And so I want to make sure that we're okay throughout the year because, as you know, this is a seasonal town. Usually, from March till December, we're wide open, but for 2 months, January and February, we're shut down. And so some people go on unemployment and you've got to cover the bases. Do we have enough to cover these bills and that? And so, yeah, that's what I do. But I had a great acting teacher at college over at SMSU, now MSU, Howard Orms. Howard Orms, he was the greatest guy in the world. He was a short man and just a character, Terry, you got to fill with your gut. And, it's a fickle business. You got to work. And when you got a job, Terry, get another one. Keep busy, keep working all those jobs, because if you do that, you're always going to be a working actor. And I took that to heart because he had also trained John Goodman, Kathleen Turner, all these people, and they did fairly well. They did fairly well, those two. And so, yes. And so I took that to heart. And so every time I would get a job, I would try to maintain that. Or if I could find an open window, they said, well, we have a show in the afternoons. Could you leave Silver Dollar and do this show? I think I can. So I worked out all the logistics, also with Silver Dollar. And we were talking earlier about now bus tours come to Branson. They always have, but now they want to be more entertained, not just ride the bus down, get off the bus, go have a buffet, then let's go do a show. They want someone to give them a guided tour around Branson. And so I've been doing that now for a couple of years. And it's been wonderful because people are learning about Branson. I've been here long enough to know about the history of what started tourism. Harold Bell Wright in his book in 1907, The Shepherd of the Hills. And that really is what was the crux of tourism. People read that book. And a lot of people don't realize this, but Harold Bell Wright was the first American author to ever sell over 1 million copies of a book.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. No way. But you think about how long has America been here, and authors per se in America. Boom, and he did it.
Yeah.
But people read that book in 1907. They came here on horseback, on buggy, sometimes on foot. They wanted to meet the Ross family that book was based on, John and Anna Ross. And so for me to be able to have that history right here to relate that, and as we go by Shepherd of the Hills, that's their cabin. That's where they lived until the tourism hit and people were knocking on the door all the time. Hey, so yeah, so it's fun. So yeah, it's great. It's great.
So from a comedian standpoint, I'm sitting here thinking, is there anybody in Branson that has been a comedian longer now than you?
Oh, yes. You have the original on the strip, Gary Presley, Herkimer, the Presleys. But I think because his family, they've been here since '68 on the strip. Now, the Baldknobbers started before them down on the lake doing a show with some folding chairs and all that. And then they built their theater second on the strip, but they were the first show, the Baldknobbers. But all of the original comedians there are now sadly
so
gone.
you're one of the longest.
So me and Herkimer,
one of the longest
we're having
comedians
a
in
race.
town.
You betcha. Yeah.
So
but it's great fun. But he is consistent. Gary Presley is consistent. They know him. That's Herkimer. Have we matured a little bit? I've got natural highlights, and I kind of hate it. But
now you also do several different characters, right?
Oh, yes.
Talk about some of those characters you do.
I was inspired when I came here. I mentioned this earlier about going to the show, and I saw the comedians. But those comedians were usually the same character all the way through. You had George Agronite, you had Droopy Drawers, people like that. And I grew up watching Bugs Bunny cartoons. And Bugs Bunny was Bugs Bunny, but also he played male, female characters, and it was so much fun. And I thought, how challenging would that be in a show to be not just Homer Lee, because that's my mainstay character, Homer Lee. Always been the maintenance man, Homer Lee. He'll fix it like we did the dog. It'll never work again. And so I said, well, I want to be other characters. So we started creating other characters, or sometimes theaters I was with, they had a character already established, but they said, we have the rights to this character, so we're going to do, we want you to do Fred Smoot. We want you to do whatever. But also they gave me liberty to say, go out there, do what you do. Now, I like finding characters that people know. Now, you've heard of Barney Fife. Well, sure, yeah, I've got the bullet right here in my pocket, Of course, Thelma Lou, my girlfriend. I'm married to my job, though. Anyway, yeah. And so people recognize Barney Fife. And so he is in the CJ show, and we change the character around or give him different circumstances, And, of course, I have my own character. He's like, Grandma, she's everyone's grandma, and everyone loves me, or else. Don't make me mad. Oh, you don't want to see me mad. So, yeah. So it's fun to keep people wondering because, like in CJ's show, we stack it, stacking means good, better, best, good, better, best. And so I start off as Homer Lee doing a pre-show. Then when we start at the show, I'll come out as Barney Fife. And then Barney is gone in 14 minutes. I have to get out of Barney's garb, if you will, and get dressed as Joan Rivers. Oh my God, Joan, I know what you're thinking. Joan Rivers, isn't she dead? Yes, I'm much better. And so yeah, and of course I give reasons for these characters. Why are they there? And I talk about, when Joan first passed away, people ask, are you going to do Joan? Because she is now deceased. And I said, I'm debating that. And I thought about it. And I thought, how can I make Joan still viable? Because we would have people who would come to the show and say, oh my God, we were here the night that Joan Rivers was here. It's like, oh yes, she came into town,
and they thought it was really Joan.
They thought it really was her. So that means I'm doing my job as a good actor. So thank you, Howard Orms. But once Joan Rivers died, I thought about it. So I came up with a reason why she is back on Earth. And I talked about, I was doing this surgery. I had some trouble right there. And they always said, Joan, go to the light, go to the light. Well, I was going to a light, but it was that idiot doctor with his camera. He was taking selfies of me as I'm laying there dying. So I go to heaven. There's a big book about, it's the big book of names. I go, hello, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Right there, Joan Rivers, okay, Joan Rivers. And of course, it has a picture. So they look at the picture, look at me. Look at the picture, look at me. I had so much plastic surgery, they didn't recognize me. They sent me back. So I give the character a reason for why they are who they are. So yeah, and so it's been a great challenge to find new characters or to have an old character that we can revamp. How can we make this person more fun, or what can we give them now to do? And so it's a great challenge. And of course, with the show, or like even Silver Dollar, I am a hologram in the new Fire in the Hole. So if the day comes, I'm not going to be here anymore. I will still be a working actor on that ride, because the other ride lasted for 50 years?
Yeah, long time.
So it's pretty fun.
Here's the deal, folks.
Yes.
If you happen to go to Silver Dollar City, you might see Terry Standers there.
Oh,
and he might be on the street doing something, greeting people or doing chalk or whatever. Or you could go to Shepherd of the Hills and you'll see him in the play. Or you can go to C.J. Newsom's classic country and comedy show, where you'll be part of the show.
Right. Oh, my gosh, yes. If you go down to Big Cedar Lodge, I produce all the big shows down there for the major holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, and at Christmas time, I'm the Grinch. That's right, the Grinch. Hello. Cindy Lou from Whoville. So I have this vast variety of characters. It's kind of fun because sometimes I change at my house. And so people see me go in as Terry, then I leave as Grandma, Joan, or even the Grinch. And the Grinch in traffic is a lot of fun.
Oh, so I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great life.
Folks, you've also seen Terry here on the Vacation Channel. He was one of the tour guides, and you're still on the Vacation Channel with the Lions commercial with Grandma Beulah.
Grandma Beulah, that's right there. Charity starts at home. You bet it does, honey. Oh, yes. Yeah, well, for almost 20 years, I had Branson Country as Terry the Tour Guide, TTG, that's me, and giving people information all about this great town called Branson, with the blue route, the red route, the yellow route. Oh, what fun. Yeah. What fun.
Okay, folks, be sure to, when you're in town, to say hi to Terry and tell him you saw him on the Vacation Channel and PlayBranson. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap the show up. We often provide tips on how to make your Branson vacation better. So have you guys seen the Flavor of Branson magazine? Now, if you're in town and you want to know more about Branson's restaurants, this is the most complete guide for dining. And guess what? It's free. It's located all over town in racks, and it will help save you money. Stretch those vacation dollars even further. There are about 20 coupons in the back. It lists all the restaurants and categories. And so check this out. Be sure to check it out in the lobby of your hotel.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We've been talking to Terry Wayne Sanders, and he's with Silver Dollar City, C.J. Newsom's Country Classics and Comedy, and even does some stuff out at Shepherd of the Hills as well. For more information about Terry, At Silver Dollar City, you can go to silverdollarcity.com. CJ Newsom, you can go to the Americana Theater Branson.com, or you can go to theshepherdofthehills.com. Of course, you can see all the show information in town here at ibranson.com as well, or you can call those folks at 1-877-ENTERTAIN, and they can help plan your entire Branson vacation. They've been doing it for over 30 years. Now, people are always saying, how do we find all these past episodes that you've done? Well, you can go to YouTube or Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube, like us there. We try to launch a new episode literally every week in show season. We also have websites, PlayBranson.com or thevacationchannel.com. You can check us out there as well. However you want to watch us, we're there for the most part. Here's the deal. Go see some live entertainment this week. Support our local musicians and entertainers and enjoy the music. That's it for today. We'll see you here next week on Play Branson.